I love finding money I forgot I had. I can't say it has ever happened, but I imagine I'd absolutely love it. The only thing better might be having checks personalized with my face on them. But that won't happen either, so I'll just be honest about that. The closest I'll probably get is finding 10 cents and a Cheez-It under the couch. But here at the Barnum Museum, anything is possible. Recently, we were sent a check in the mail. It's about 145 years old and unfortunately appears to be cashed, but it is one of P.T. Barnum's personal checks, and yes, it has his face on it. Welcome to Curious People Wanted. I'm Dr. Darren Raymond Locke, curator of the Barnum Museum. Today, I am going to take you down one of the many rabbit holes that I find myself running through when I am actually supposed to be accomplishing something useful like my job. And if you stay with me to the end of the video, I'll stand on my head. The check is made out to Mary B. Austin for the sum of $80, which was a lot of money in 1879. It's the equivalent of almost $2,500 today. Well, Mary B. Austin was a new name for us here. So who was she and why was Barnum writing a check to her? Turns out she was Barnum's niece. Ezekiel Sanford Drew was born in Redding, Connecticut in 1803. He married Bethel native Minerva Barnum in 1823. Minerva was P.T. Barnum's half-sister by his father Philo's first wife, Phoebe Polly Fairchild. After their wedding, it is unclear where Ezekiel and his bride settled, and I have been unsuccessful in determining where each of their 7 children were born, but they all seem to have been born in Connecticut sometime between 1824 and 1845. Of the 7 kids, 4 survived to adulthood: Minerva Jeanette, Mary Barnum, Adeline, and Fairchild. Mary Barnum Drew was the 5th child born to the couple and came into the world on June 6, 1833. According to genealogies, Ezekiel moved his family to Hornellsville, New York, sometime after 1840. By the time the 1850 census was taken, the family had moved again and were living in Bristol, Wisconsin. If his children were all born in Connecticut, which I'm not sure they were, that means they moved quite quickly from Connecticut to New York to Wisconsin. And it all happened within a 4-year span between 1846 and 1850. Regardless, Ezekiel worked as a farmer, and by 1860, some of his children were also employed. His eldest daughter, Minerva, worked as a milliner, and Mary as a school teacher. Within the next few years, things changed. Mary was married and had given birth to a daughter on her own birthday, June 6th, in 1862. Just to make things even more confusing, her daughter was named Minerva, just like her older sister and her mother, but went by the nickname Minnie. It is unclear who Mary's husband was, but it may have been a man named George Austin. George was killed, along with his brother Nathan, in a sawmill explosion in Shelby, Illinois on November 8, 1865. This makes sense in light of the 1870 census recording Mary and Minnie as living with Mary's parents on the family farm. Mary kept the house with her mother at this time. She never remarried and is listed as widowed in 1880. Mary's father, Ezekiel, died in 1875, and she became head of household, caring for her mother and daughter. In 1885, 2 quitclaim deeds, one from her brother Fairchild and one from P.T. Barnum, transferred ownership of the family farm to Mary. Her daughter Minnie married someone named Herbert Newbert, say that 3 times fast, 2 years earlier and relocated to Woodland, California around 1885. The 1890 census was destroyed in a fire, so there's little I can say about the family after that. Mary died in 1895 at her brother's house in Kenton, Oklahoma from typhoid fever. Fairchild filed her probate in Oklahoma, but also in Kenosha County, Wisconsin, where Mary lived. Fairchild and Minnie were the only heirs to her estate, which was totaled at $6,100. Today, that is a sum of about $226,812.52. So that's the biography, but how close was she with P.T. Barnum? Barnum is notoriously quiet about his family. He doesn't write much about them, so can we find anything out from him? Actually, we can. In his book, Struggles and Triumphs, the 1872 version, Barnum actually writes that he visited Minerva at her farm in Bristol, Wisconsin, while he was out west. Interestingly, he said they lived on a farm that he had presented to her about 20 years before. From what I can gather, Barnum made his visit sometime in the mid-1860s, probably while he was on his lecturing tour during 1866. So most of Ezekiel's and Minerva's children were grown and out of the house. The only child still at home was their youngest, Fairchild, who would have been around 20 years old at the time. It became clear on this visit that the neighboring farm was for sale for less than $5,000 and that Ezekiel really wanted it. Barnum purchased it for him on the condition that he would work both farms together and make sure to continue the care of the initial farm. Barnum writes, and I quote, "I trust that the arrangement will prove beneficial to all concerned, for there is great pleasure in helping others who try to help themselves." A plotting map of the area in 1861 shows Ezekiel Drew's farm, which totaled 80 acres. The same parcel is shown on an 1891 map as being owned by Mary Austin's estate, which is curious as she doesn't seem to have died yet by that time. Regardless, the 80 acres stayed intact and with the family for at least 50 years. It would be interesting to really dig into the land records and see the details of the Barnum purchases and his transfers to and from Ezekiel or Mary and how that parcel is described over time, but nobody is about to send me to Wisconsin to do that. Well, all this info is fine and good, but what I still want to know is what the $80 was for. So we are at the end of the video, and I told you if you stayed until the end, I'd stand on my head. I lied, I'm not gonna do that. Quick shout out to my genealogy whiz of a friend, Suzanne, who helped me check facts and obtain extra information. Please like and share this video, subscribe to our channel, and feel free to comment if there's a topic you'd like me to explore more. But most importantly, remember to stay curious.
You're gonna piss some people off.
People are going to be so mad.
It's great.
We're gonna
Be like,
lose.
oh, the lying
We're gonna lose like 20 followers.